shot from Woodard. Big three.
PR researcher a lot of money. He says 4.
Woodard.
Alley-oop to Woodard.
To shoot. Weatherspoon elevates. Oh, great look.
I would like to proudly announce that I will continue my athletic career at
Hello, friends. Welcome into another episode of the D1 and Done podcast, currently presented by your official Mountain West correspondent, SEC correspondent, and benefactors of the pod, the Hagen Hall Boys. Make sure you give us a follow on our email and socials. Our email is d1anddonepod@gmail.com. You can leave a like, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Make sure you leave a review and rate us 5 stars. I'm Robbie Donahoe. To my left is Dusty Mills. To the far left is Nick Mills. Now, we are called the D1 and Done pod, but today it is multiple D1s here with us amongst some JV All-Stars. So we are definitely outnumbered on the pod today. But we are joined by a couple Mississippi State Bulldogs, a couple guys that I covered back in their heyday, Robert Woodard and Mitch Storm. Guys, it is a pleasure to have you on. Welcome aboard.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, right back at you. We're excited.
So let's give a little premise, a little bit of a background on both of these guys. We're going to start with Mitch. Mitch has that Madison Central blood flowing through him. He is a Jaguar through and through, played for the dare I say, great Billy Begley at East Mississippi Community College.
Great Billy Begley.
And then did you leave after your freshman year then?
Yeah, played 1 year.
Freshman year, and then went to Mississippi State, played for 3 years in beautiful Starkville, and played for the Bulldogs then. And then my guy just ahead of me, Robert Woodard, I've known him since, I believe since you were in 8th grade. I remember seeing you at some point. Rob grew up playing at Columbus High School in Columbus, Mississippi, 2-time Mississippi Gatorade Player of the Year. Led the Falcons to 2 state championships in his time. He was drafted 40th overall in the 2020 NBA draft by the Memphis Grizzlies. Eventually traded to the Sacramento Kings, played the G League, has bounced around in Europe, and now both of these guys are members of the Fail Harder team of the TBT. Excited to watch them play. They are playing tonight. This is airing Friday night, so tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch the game on FS2. Fail Harder will play the Butler alums of All Good Dogs, so make sure you catch Robert Woodard, Kyle Guy, Kobe Webster, all those good guys that are on the team. Really excited about that. So, Rob, let's start with you.
All right.
Even Mitch, how on earth did you guys get in with this team? Because this is not a team that, is based in Mississippi. You had to come up here to Indy to make this happen. How did this all come about then for you guys?
Well, yeah, Kyle is a great friend of mine. I met him when I moved to Sacramento. It's a crazy story because I tell him almost every time I see him, like, I did not like you for a long time just because he beat Auburn in the
Can I mention something as well? I don't like Kyle either because his team beat Purdue in the Elite Eight in that 2019 tournament, and I haven't seen him yet since we've gotten to. By the way, we're at his house right now, so I will never forgive him for that game that he had against Purdue in that Elite Eight.
In my high school career as well.
Oh, that's true, because when he was at Lawrence Central, yeah. So, anyway, you and I share a common bond on that front, so that's good.
Yeah, I didn't like him. Well, I won't say I didn't like him, but I wasn't that big of a fan because I wanted Auburn to win just so the SEC could win the championship.
Of course.
And then I met him in Sacramento, and we clicked just like that, like the first week, and we just became great friends from there. And then, obviously, Mitch was my friend in college. We were roommates for a while.
Yeah.
And he just met Kyle through me, and we've just –
taken off ever since then.
Going up from there.
Very nice.
I was able to visit Sacramento when Rob was out there and met Kyle at that point. We kind of stayed in touch here and there, and then I was kind of looking for an end for coaching the TBT in some way this season, and so figured out just the connection there and reached out to Kyle, and he was very gracious to add me to their staff, so I'm looking forward to it.
Now, I just want to say real quick, I love the love story of we met in Sacramento, we just clicked.
The biggest bromance.
Yeah, I was going to say, you could do a movie about that. Obviously, TBT is probably different than anything you've ever experienced basketball-wise. How, compared to just like from your college days and obviously from playing professionally, what has the process been like for you to get ready for something like this? Because it's a winner-take-all, $1 million. You better bring your A game or else you guys are done.
Yeah, I mean, it's no room for mistakes, really, when you're playing the TBT. This is my first time participating in it. But, I mean, overall, like, the preparation is totally different from being on any team. Even, like, playing USA and stuff like that, you still have a couple weeks, 3 weeks to prepare, get to know your teammates. But here it's like you have 3 days, if that max, to be able to get adjusted to everybody, get accustomed to everybody, I guess just to say. But other than that, it's been fun so far. The whole team is just great group of guys, and I think everybody wants to compete at a high level, so I'm looking forward to it.
Do you guys do scouting on Butler? Because that's who you're playing, obviously.
Yeah,
Have you done some scouting on them then? Kind of like guys that you need to focus on, key on, things like that?
Yeah, for sure. I think on the staff side of things, like it's kind of sight unseen both for your team and the team that you're playing against coming in, because the majority of the preparation that you can do like ahead of time, like from the time you realize, okay, we have a team where this is what our team looks like, you're really not able to practice like you were saying. You get, we started practice a couple days ago, but from a staff perspective, we were kind of all we could really do was work on both our own scouts, like who do we have, what do we expect our guys to look like, and how can we find success with the guys that we have, but they've also never played together, so we don't know what works best yet until we actually get them on the court. And then also, like you said, scouting who we play in this game, and then kind of getting ahead of the game a little bit and trying to scout who our possible matchup would be in the next round. So
it's going to be exciting to watch. All these games we played at Hinkle Fieldhouse in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, which, by the way, we both have played at Hinkle Fieldhouse a few times.
We have. We've talked about our big upset over Valparaiso at Hinkle.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know our claim to fame, but we beat Robbie Hummel, Scott Martin's Valpo High School team back in 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
In a cinema.
The high school team?
Yeah, well, it was
We were middle
grade
school.
We were middle school, but
they were so dominant that
So
we told
good.
the story on here before. The entire place was rooting for. We went to Noblesville High School, or grew up in Noblesville. The entire place was rooting for us, and we went to overtime. You always remember the guy's name, who was the big man.
Nate Windsor.
Yeah, this is a half-court shot at the buzzer. We win by 2. Place goes crazy
Oh, yeah.
because no one could beat Valpo. And then we lost the next game in the semis.
That's normally how it goes.
We lost to Tyler Kitchell in Center Grove.
Correct.
Yeah,
That's
our claim to fame.
I want to ask, too, so the turnaround for this tournament, so you talk about just having, let's just say, 3 days to put something together. I mean, are you drawing up plays? How do you, obviously everyone knows each other in a sense. How are you putting the personnel together to strategize how to play?
yeah, I think one of the, I guess, advantages that these guys do have is Kyle's dizzy runs that he puts on every week throughout the summer. And so they're able to kind of, and they play different. Like the teams are, like some of our guys were on one team, some of the guys were on the other. So it wasn't like they had a full group of guys together the whole summer playing together. But they've been able to kind of see how they play with certain people or how they play against certain people. And so I think that's very beneficial too. Even though guys haven't all played together the whole, like 11 of us or of them played together, the staff is pretty familiar with how they play based off of those runs and knows that they're still in shape, can tell who's really playing, who's like, who we think we can really, really count on in certain situations. So I think that's definitely a benefit to that.
Remember, you can catch that game. It is tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern. You can catch the game on FS2. That is Fox Sports 2. So if you have cable, you can be able to find that game. But I want to lift the lid and get back into your time in Mississippi.
Let's do it.
So I think we could probably do a 5-hour podcast on some of the stuff that we've gone through from our time back in the day. But Rob, I want to start with you first. Were you born in Starkville then?
I was actually born in Starkville.
Okay, when did you move to Columbus then?
Probably like the day after I was born.
Okay, so you were born in, okay, so you had to have the connection because I saw that, like, I was like, I see he's born in Starkville, but I knew he grew up in Columbus, so I didn't know how that. So what are your like fondest memories of growing up in Columbus, and what do you remember the most from your mom and your dad and your upbringing?
Yeah, I mean, I was blessed enough to have both of my parents in my life. My mom was more like academic. She was on my head about school. And my dad was like the sports side, but still school. But other than that, man, I had a great upbringing. I can't complain. I feel like I have the best parents in the world. Growing up in Columbus it was great. That was back when Columbus was a pretty nice city.
That's right.
Can't say the same now, but
Yeah.
it's so-so. But growing up, Columbus was very fun. I did a lot of camps and stuff in Columbus and just had a good time.
Do you remember the day that you could beat your dad? Like, what was like the first time you could? Because obviously, so for those who don't know, Rob's dad was at the time the highest scoring player in Mississippi high school basketball history.
Yep.
And obviously played at Mississippi State. Pretty good in his own right. Do you remember the first time that you beat him? Because obviously I'm sure you played one-on-one against him all the time, but do you remember like that one time where it actually happened? You're like, okay, I can finally beat my dad now.
Truthfully, I don't.
So you've never beaten him then? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think I've ever beat him. I know it was one time at the YMCA. It was a very close game, and I think he might have won by like 1 point.
Okay.
But then after that, I think he realized, like, okay, it's getting kind of close, and I don't think I ever challenged him again. So he pretty much beat up on me my whole life and just took the title of that. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, I mean, obviously, once I got to high school, I felt like and knew I could beat him. But other than that, like, he beat up on me.
I love that.
Rob, I have a very important question. So you mentioned your mother's more academic side of it. I did some research on you. You know, one does prep for this. I found you're the valedictorian, and get this, you're the 2-time winner of your high school's Principal Student of the Year.
I did not know this.
Well, what is the high
Details,
school?
please. Like, what is that?
Yeah, first of all, what is the high school Principal Student of the Year, and how do you win it twice? That kind of the poor nerds. By
That's
the
a
way.
very political name for teacher's pet.
Thank you. I'm not trying to say out loud.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about being a good student, like all-around student. I was pretty active in a lot in school. I did basketball. I did baseball for like a year in high school.
Yeah.
And then I was also in choir. So, I mean.
Are you going to sing for us?
Nah.
I need to make sure the wife approves of that
I
first.
just feel bad for the nerds too. Like you're good at basketball, then you just take their award as well too. So that's
I mean,
it's tough at that school.
Honestly, it was unexpected to get the valedictorian because I was just thinking like I knew I would be like top of the class, maybe like top 10, top 15. But when I got the phone call, I was valedictorian. I was like, what? And then I realized like, oh, I only had one B throughout high school, and I was taking college courses. So I was like, it makes sense. So
did you ever put any thought into playing football? Was that ever an idea? Because I know like it's always like every basketball player feels like steps in like, yeah, I could go play receiver or tight end, something like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I was recruited heavy in high school to try to get on the football team, but it didn't interest me. I played when I was in elementary school, but after that I was like, it's not really for me. I don't want to get hit every possession.
You talked about recruitment on the football side. Basketball-wise, was there any place other than Mississippi State, or is it a Bulldog from the beginning?
I'll be completely honest with you. Mississippi State was the last place I wanted to go. I wanted to create my own path. Honestly, I was 100 in my mind. I was 100% committed to Alabama when Avery Johnson was there. But I guess I'll give the whole rundown on it. So basically, I got a call from Mississippi State one day, and they were talking about me committing there. I was like, I don't know. But it was getting close to the time where I wanted to commit, so I just wanted to go ahead and make my decision. And honestly, I wanted to go to Alabama, and then I just told him, look, I'll call you back in like 30 minutes to an hour. I'm going to just think about it. And then I took a quick nap, probably 10 minutes, if that, and I prayed about it, and God told me, you need to go to Mississippi State. And I was like, okay, I won't question it. I won't ask any questions or anything. And I just told him that day, like maybe 20 minutes later, like, coming to Mississippi State, like Alabama's out the picture.
Do you have an Avery Johnson impersonation?
I don't think your voice can get that high.
Yeah, his voice is super,
like sandpaper.
His voice is super high, and he kind of drags his words a little bit. Let's see.
Robert, this is the way we play basketball.
Something like that. I don't know.
Pretty good.
But
that was good. Okay.
But Avery was a great coach. I liked his program and stuff like that. So
one of the things that is always fascinating me with you, especially with kind of the landscape of high school basketball right now, is a person of your talent usually doesn't stay in high school. They go to a prep school. Mm-hmm. Why did you stay at Columbus? I'm sure you probably heard from prep schools or like a La Lumiere up in LaPorte, Indiana. Mm-hmm. I know there were some prep schools up in North Mississippi too at the time. Mm-hmm. What made you want to stay at Columbus?
My dad. I mean, honestly, I remember I was like in the 8th grade, and I was playing pretty well in Montverde.
Yeah, Montverde. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they wanted me to come to the school and stuff like that, but my dad actually saw the vision in Columbus because Columbus had a stacked team when I was like, from the moment I was in the 8th grade, I was like, I didn't see it at the time, but when I got to high school, I was like, we really have like a college grade team. Like the average height on our team is 6'3" and up almost. So the guys on that team had a lot of potential. I think most of them went D1 or D2.
Yeah.
And so I think my dad saw the end goal in it, and it worked out. So
now, did you guys play? I mean, you get both at 6A school. Did you guys play each other when you were in high school?
We did. My 8th grade year, we that's when I first got moved up from middle school to high school to play on the high school team, and I played them. Was it It was in the playoffs.
That would have been my 10th. That would have been my 10th grade year. And that was the year. Let's see here. Is that right? Am I thinking that right?
It might have. I mean, I was in the 8th grade. You 2 years.
Yeah,
ago.
10th or 11th. Yeah, I don't necessarily remember that. I remember my 11th grade year, your 9th grade year. I don't think we played, but that was when we kind of had the team to beat in the state.
Yeah.
And, made a great. I mean, we should have.
You had a great coach, great team.
Great coach, great team. We just came up one shot short. But yeah, no, we played, but I don't necessarily remember having anything specific. I guess memory-wise from that game, but didn't know of each other. But Columbus, we played Starkville twice a year, so we were in the area, and we were in Columbus's district for a little
I was gonna
while.
say which that's a long drive.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know Mississippi, Madison to Columbus is about 2.5, almost 3 hours. So that's a long way.
Yeah, we're in
Mississippi.
Jackson District.
Do you see grade 11 and grade 9 in that like freshman and junior year?
No, we just say 11th grade.
It's Mississippi's in the United States. Okay, it's not like it's a different world out there.
I'm a Hoosier over here. I'm asking the questions to bridge the gaps.
That's
you
fair.
know,
That's fair. I understand. So I am going back into the archives here, and I wanted to just like uncover some Columbus high school basketball names of some guys that were on your teams that I wanted to. Javonte McDavid.
Oh yeah, sharpshooter.
That dude.
Sharpshooter. He was a great point guard.
I loved him.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to find some others that are on that team. The McDice kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was
good.
He was a dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chris Deloach, another one, wouldn't play football at UCF.
Yeah, I loved playing with Chris.
Man, he was good.
Like, obviously, he was a football player, but he was just one of those guys that just get down and dirty. And I just felt like we were partners down low, just banging it out.
And Demetrius Clopton, that's another
Oh,
one.
yeah. He was very, very skilled. Like, I don't think people realize how skilled he was because I get to see him in practice every day, but super skilled.
Those were, like, maybe it's just because of the fond memories, but, man, those years with high school basketball in Mississippi, like, those were those were some fun years.
Wasn't Malik Newman around that time?
Malik Newman was at Callaway or kind of around that time,
Yeah, I missed him. I think I missed him by a year.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think some other ones that were coming up. West Point had some really good teams there for a while as well. Tupelo had some good teams.
Yeah, Tupelo was pretty decent.
Yeah.
Starkville's
obviously always good. Tyson Carter was there at the time. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
So, yeah, those were some fun years. But so I want to get into your Mississippi State time now.
Let's do it.
That 18 team, Reggie Perry, Lamar Peters, Quinndary Weatherspoon, Tyson Carter, you, Nick Weatherspoon, Eric Holman, and y'all lost to Liberty.
Oh, my goodness, yeah.
What happened? It kind of
we're getting into it that quick. Is that what we're doing right now?
I don't. That's the journalist side of me. Okay, I don't like. I got to go into it right now. Like I still will never understand how that team lost to Liberty. Now I know that little punk guard just couldn't stop missing from three, but like what happened?
A name shout out.
I mean,
I can't remember his name, but what happened towards the end of that season? Because it seemed like kind of the wheels kind of fell off at the end.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can comprehend what happened in that game. All I can tell people is that's just the madness.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, once you enter into March, you just never know what team is just going to come out firing, and they just could not miss. They could not miss. I mean, everybody was hitting on all cylinders for their team that night. And when I remember vividly, it was probably 8 minutes left.
We were up.
Yeah.
You guys were up in that game. Yep.
8 minutes left in that game, and I remember Tyson Carter airballed a three. And when he airballed that, I said to myself, I think it's over. And we were winning at that point.
Because he doesn't partly because he doesn't miss, much less
ever
not hit around. He's for me the best shooter I've ever played with.
Oh, no doubt.
Darius McGee was that little guard, by the way. That 5'9" freshman. He couldn't miss.
Even their 5-man had a great
game.
Great game. And then they had one guy, I can't remember his name, but he had like 30 that game.
Caleb Holmesley had 30.
Holmesley, that's who it was.
Yeah, 5'11" from three.
Sweet 3-4 guy.
Don't get me wrong. He's a fantastic player.
He was a good
I played
player,
against him in the pros and everything. He's a great player. But that night, it was just, I mean, we had it in the first half, part of the second half, but they just stayed in it and they just couldn't miss.
It's kind of one of those things where a coach will tell you, like, they can't keep shooting this well the rest of the game. They can't keep it up for 2 full halves,
and
then
going.
They just did.
They did, yeah.
They did
all the way to the end because I remember to seal the game. I think McGee hit a corner three.
Yep.
And after that, it was pretty much over.
Rob, a fun fact from that game: you're the only person on either team that didn't miss a free throw.
Nice. How many did I shoot? 1?
3 for 3.
Oh, okay.
Look out.
100%.
Did you feel like that freshman year was kind of just a smack in the face? Because you almost felt overwhelmed at times as a freshman. I can remember because
Yeah.
it's just there was so much going on.
Oh yeah, it was a ton going on because I mean, obviously I had Quinndary Weatherspoon in front of me, and he showed me every day why he was in front of me for the longest. So I got there in the summer, and I'm like, my goodness, he is way better than he looks on TV.
Yeah.
So he was doing this thing, and then like the beginning of my freshman year, I wasn't really playing, the best that I could play just because I'm still figuring it out. And then later on, before SEC, I started figuring it out, and I started getting a few more minutes in the SEC. It kind of rolled over. But, I mean, overall, my freshman experience was great because I'll tell anybody, I wouldn't change it for anything. I would, being under Quinndary was, one of the best things I could possibly do just because he showed me so much and just beat up on me every day for, 3 months. And it was amazing. It helped me become a better defender, shooter, whatever you want to, whatever you think of, he helped me.
That I'll mention. I want to ask, and then you can move on and ask next. That jump from high school to college, is it as and you can talk to as well because you went through the JUCO route. Is it as big of a jump as people say it is? Then.
I mean, from my perspective, I had a little bit of kind of a buffer year going the junior college route, but I do tell people I don't remember it being just a huge slap in the face, but I do remember how much better of a player I felt and knew that I was after that first year compared to coming out of high school. You come out of high school and if you're going to go play college sports, you kind of have an idea. I feel like I'm pretty good. I feel like I know what's going on. I'm well prepared for what's about to come. But after that first year, and I know you feel the same way, you are a completely different player. And so it does its job. And yes, there are those moments of kind of overwhelming or where you all right, maybe I'm not cut out for this, but you get a year into it and you look back, you're I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm way further than I even, thought that I could be.
Yeah.
It's hard to see the end goal when you first get there.
Sure.
Just because, I remember when I first got there, it was just hammer in the weight room, hammer on the court almost. And I was like, man, I'm not used to this, level of just going at it. But after a while, you get used to it. And then by the end of the season, you just head over heels better than what you were when you came in.
Yeah.
I mean, from my standpoint, I'll tell you, and as I'm sure they told you, I came back from Lexington today, so it was cool to, because that's the question I have for you. But you have to get better every day.
Oh yeah,
that was the hardest thing for me is when people see me and hear my story, and they'll make comments like, "Oh, you played Division I basketball." I was like, "Yeah, but I was playing against."
By the way, I don't know if they know your background. Do you know Dusty's kind of where his
really,
background?
no.
Okay. Explain kind of
I'll be very
let's
quick.
let's
So
hear
yeah,
it.
I just that's why I was late today. I apologize.
No,
we can cut that.
we had
He was
to hold
very
up the
late.
entire
I'm always
podcast for
late.
you.
Like 3
We started
hours
30
late.
minutes
Per
late,
usual.
by the way.
Yes, I'm always late. So I walked on at Kentucky, and then again at Ball State as well. Transferred over there, but from day one, it was you're playing against. Patrick Patterson was in my freshman class with me, and immediately I had to change my crossover the first day because my first time trying to cross someone over was, if you guys remember, Alex Legion. Strips me, goes down and dunks it, and it's like, okay, I got to make this tighter. So you talk about hitting the weight room and immediately be like, okay, you're playing against these amazing guys every single day. You have to get better very, very quickly.
Oh yeah.
I'll now transition into the question I wanted to ask you guys. So last night, again, I got invited to a private event to meet the new Kentucky basketball team. Met Coach Pope for the first time. Love the guy. And it was cool for me because I got to hang out with some of my teammates that I've not seen. And, Romel Bradley, who was our senior captain. It's been, 14 years?
08, so that's 16 years.
Yeah, 16 years since I've seen him in person.
You're old.
Yeah.
It's okay, we're old.
That too. And to hang out with him and names that people on this pod won't know, not Morkeen, he wasn't there. AJ Stewart and Perry Stevenson. Perry Stevenson was on the team that lost to West Virginia.
Oh, yeah?
He has a great story I'm going to tell about that game next time we do a podcast.
Can't wait.
Kind of like what you guys said, he knew there was a moment they were going to lose.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell that one other time.
Okay.
But so you talk about Quinndary being your mentor in a sense. Do you guys stay in touch with your former teammates? It's probably different for someone who got to the level you did at the NBA level. But do you still have those relationships? Because I still stay in touch with those. There's probably 5 of us that kind of have a group chat. What's that been like, and just how has it involved you in life and whatnot?
And also, second question, where is Lamar Peters right now? Because I want to know where he is.
Mitch might know, but I'll let Mitch get into that in a second. But, we still talk to Quinndary. He actually invited us to his wedding here.
I'm in it.
Yeah. So
He's in his wedding. He's getting married in a month, so I'm actually I'm in that. But I also too, not to interrupt, but we grew up like 15 minutes from each other. So
Velma Jackson zone.
Yeah. So we didn't know each other in high school, but we played a lot of basketball that summer that I knew that I was going to state, transfer from junior college, and so kind of had somewhat of a relationship going into it. And so, but yeah, me and Q are still pretty close. Me and Nick also.
Wait, if you're calling him Q, then I would assume.
Quinndary. Sorry.
That too. He's got a ring, by the way. He got a ring when he played for the Warriors.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
You should go.
Awesome.
You should.
I did not know that.
Go find his Christmas Day highlights. Christmas Day game highlights against.
Oh my goodness.
Who they put? The Suns. Oh, I mean, he's the reason they won that game.
Yeah, it was Mississippi State all over again.
Yeah.
But yeah,
How did he not stick in the NBA? Like he's got a game. He's got a game that fits.
I don't know. I mean,
especially with the Warriors too.
Well, he's playing the summer league right now.
Okay.
He's trying to work his way back into it. I think at the time when he had that great year with the Warriors, he coming out of that season, I think he maybe wanted something a little bit more concrete than a two-way.
Okay.
And so he kind of took his chances going overseas at that point because he, for whatever reason, didn't get the two-way or the contract that he wanted. And I think it was a fine decision. I mean, he did very, very well. He played in China, played somewhere else, and he's still got a chance, I think, to make one of those rosters. Like I've watched him play a couple times this summer, and it was me and you that were talking about. We're like, I don't understand how there's not a team that could use him.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just the NBA the way it works. I mean, it's once you get in, you're in, but sometimes it's hard to stick. But just because, I mean, it's a lot of great guys like. Phenomenal players I know that's like overseas and stuff like you see them and they're like, you're not supposed to be over here. But I mean that's just how it is.
That's funny that you bring that up is because I want to kind of jump into like your G League stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine how tough that is to be like, because you want to be in the NBA, you want to play for the Sacramento Kings, and here I am messing around in the G League. I don't want to be here. Like what mentally, what does that do, or how do you have to handle that in that situation?
Before you do, I have a serious question that I wanted to get to. I was thinking about on my drive home today. Where were you draft night?
I was at home.
Okay, and
we covered him getting drafted.
It was during COVID, so I had to do it at home.
Do you remember who you're traded for on draft night?
I mentioned it at the start.
Xavier Tillman?
Yeah, Xavier Tillman from Michigan State.
Yep.
By the way, I don't know how that dude's still in the NBA.
He looks like he's 56.
I think
kicking it.
and I'm not fast, but I think I'm faster than Xavier Tillman. I don't know how he's in the NBA.
I mean, he's a great role player. After watching him play, he fit in pretty well.
He's slow though.
Rob's
You're not saying it. I'll say it. He's slow.
It just depends.
I don't understand. He also looks like he's 50.
But before the G League stuff, take me through that night. Like, are you sitting on your couch and you get a call? Like,
yeah. So
and against the COVID, so what? It's like November, right?
Yeah, it was like I think it was November. I can't.
I'll have to look that up. That's a good question.
I remember. I want to say November 20th, but I
he lost his virginity.
What was November 20th?
I know my date.
Wait, what was November 20th? Oh, it was that late?
It was in November for sure.
Yeah, it was November that year. Yeah.
But what was the question?
Just how what was the night like? Like I can't fathom what that has to. I mean, do you get a phone call from the Kings GM or what happens?
So the NBA already sent like gear and stuff so we could record and it could be live streamed. So they sent cameras and all that. So basically, we just sat on the couch and waited the whole time. I had some of my family, some of my friends there. Were you there? You were there? Yeah.
Good to know that was
best night of his life.
Still
it was a lot going on, but I mean throughout the night, like obviously they were saying like late first round, early second round, so that's where I was kind of engaged the most. But the one thing that did kind of get under my skin, I think it was the best available. They kept posting like best available, and my name was up there from like 20. All the way up until I got picked. So I'm like, it got to be coming sometime soon.
Yeah.
And then my agent called me. He was like, yeah, you're going to Sacramento, but Memphis is going to draft you at 40. It'll just be a trade right there. So
can I mention some of the guys that were drafted ahead of you?
Are you like Draymond?
No.
Can you name all 39 guys drafted in front of you?
Nah.
I mean, I'll mention.
Wait. Can we play a game at least? Go to like 25. And I just want to ask Rob who's better at basketball. Or the guy.
Can I go first?
Obviously, I'm going to say myself.
You will always be able to say like this draft is stacked
It really
obviously
was.
Ant went 1,
yeah.
LaMelo's 3.
Yeah.
James
who was two?
Wiseman, circa.
James Wiseman. You or Killian Hayes.
Tyrese Halliburton, 12.
Wait, James Wiseman's coming to town here.
James
soon.
Wiseman will be here. Tyrese Maxey at 21. Okay, let's go from 25 on because 25 is a good place to start. Emmanuel Quickly,
Yeah, I mean,
dang good play right
yeah,
there.
pretty good.
Getting paid.
Pretty
Peyton
good
Pritchard, who's only good inside of 30 seconds of every quarter. Udoka Azubuike.
Where is he now?
He's in Utah for a little bit.
I remember playing him in Utah, but I don't know where
He's
he
at
is now.
Phoenix right now.
I honestly don't remember. Is that,
Two-way in
is
Phoenix
that
right
Clem's
now.
brother?
I think we've.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I
That's a
don't
good
think
question.
so.
Jaden McDaniels, Malachi Flynn. Oh my gosh, Desmond Bain.
He went way lower than I expected.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for you to call someone trash.
None of
These
these
are good-
guys are.
these are-
All of
I
these
know,
guys
I'm
are
waiting
good
for just
players.
anyone on this list.
Yeah.
He gave me a look on
Now, okay,
Killian
here's
Hayes.
one.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, yeah.
so Tyrell Terry. I don't know who that is. I
He's
don't remember
still-
him. Is he still playing? Where is he?
I think he's still playing.
He's not. He's not in the league anymore.
Oh, he's not.
No, he was out. He retired in 22 for mental. reasons.
Yeah, I remember that. I
That's
remember.
right.
It was like a year after you got drafted. He was
Yeah.
like, I'm done with it.
Vernon Carey from Duke.
Yeah.
I think he's probably still milling around. Daniel Oturu. I remember him from Minnesota. Theo
I was
Maladon.
going to say this next one's great.
Terteo Maladon. No clue. Now Xavier Tillman got to 35. Tyler Bay, 36. Some guy from the Czech Republic at
Tyler Bay
37.
was pretty good.
I like
Tyler Bay was
Yeah.
solid.
No, we'll name the Czech guy Vit
Krejci.
Krejci.
Oh, he's on the Hawks.
Oh,
is
Kinda
he?
nice.
Okay, there you go. Saban Lee, you played
Yeah.
against. You guys played against him.
He
He's
was,
at Vandy.
Vandy, yeah.
And then Elijah Hughes from Syracuse. Those were all the guys that were picked ahead of you.
He is definitely. Is he on Portland? Is he in Portland?
Because he was with Detroit, wasn't he? Saban Lee was with Detroit,
Yeah.
I believe, for a
Still
while.
good with them.
I don't know if he's still with them now.
I don't. But yeah, but there. I mean, like there. And Jordan Juarez was drafted after you. So was Nick Richards, Trey Jones, Isaiah Joe, Skylar Mays, like Kenyon Martin Jr., Cassius Winston.
Yeah, I mean,
And Reggie Perry got drafted after you too. You can hold that over his head for
sure.
all time.
Yeah.
It's like that was a deep
yeah.
draft.
Now that you're calling the names out, I'm like, okay, now
That's not so bad now.
that was like I mean, going 40 anyway. I mean, getting drafted, being like in that 60 people is a big.
Well, that's why I
deal.
Yeah.
wanted to know. Like, I mean, did you cry?
No, I didn't cry. I was just happy. I mean, I knew I was gonna get drafted. I just didn't know where, so it was just kind of just a waiting game.
Was there? So you obviously went through the pre-draft process. Was there a team that was talking to you like, okay, yeah, I'm probably going there, or was there like a team that you connected with the most that you felt like you had a good chance at going?
Memphis really liked me a lot,
Okay.
so I thought I was gonna get a shot there because they kept in touch all the way up until like the draft,
Yeah.
and then for some reason the Lakers came on the radar before I got drafted, kind of heavy. So
Okay.
those two teams were pretty heavy, but I didn't know exactly where I would land. It was just I don't know, but Sacramento was like one of the last places I thought I'd ever be.
So you were shocked that they traded
Yeah, I
for
was-
you then? Okay.
Well, I was just super surprised it was Sacramento because didn't hear much about them during
Yep.
the process, so it was just like, wow.
Are you better at basketball than Devin Vassell?
Devin Vassell.
Devin Vassell for the
Vassell.
Spurs.
He's
I
very
didn't remember
good.
him. Florida
He's
State.
pretty good. I actually
He's
played
pretty
with him.
solid. Yeah, he's a good player.
He's got paid.
Yeah.
I do not remember him.
Yeah, he's
I
a
played
good
with him.
player.
Yeah, he's legit.
Okay, I'm trying to find a
He's
good one.
legit.
Did you were the Spurs for a time, weren't you?
I
Did
played-
you play against him?
So,
He was with San Antonio then?
I played with the Spurs in the G League bubble.
Okay.
Because Sacramento sent me down with them.
Okay.
Played with them for a while, and then they picked me up when I went to Oklahoma City G League, and they signed me to a two-way, so I played with them for the rest of the season.
I'm glad you brought up COVID because I want to talk about COVID real quick. That bubble being in that, what was that the most bizarre thing of all time?
Yeah, it was crazy, but it was fun. I think it was more so fun because I was young.
You're probably one of the
Yeah.
few professional players that
We're-
said the bubble, like a bubble, was fun.
Where'd you stay at?
We were, what was it? It wasn't Wild. We played at Wild World of Sports,
Right.
but I can't remember the actual. It was like
Resort.
a resort
Yeah.
we stayed at. But I mean, I enjoyed it just because it was like I'm just
You're only
here,
playing basketball.
Just basketball. I don't really have anything to worry about. Like no outside distractions, and then also they had a pond where I could fish. So I was there.
You
like
beat
every
me
day
to it.
catching the same fish.
There's the Mississippi kid that I know well.
Could you
right
hear
there.
like the Zoom fans, like the people on Zoom?
No, but we could see them.
Yes, you.
Yeah.
That'd be so weird. You just see
Yeah,
people
it was.
waving
I
at
feel like
you.
it's even weirder just to be
Yeah.
able to see them.
Yeah, but I mean, it was cool. I mean, besides playing like the back-to-backs, day off, and then play again.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was 20, 21 maybe, so I was young, fresh legs, and I wasn't playing in Sacramento, so I was just ready to get some reps in. So it's pretty fun.
So you came out of your sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you wish you would have gone back for one more year, or were you?
Now that you call that draft class out, maybe yeah.
Maybe.
Because I don't recall the next draft class being that strong.
I'll pull it
But
up.
I mean, other than that, I mean, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Right.
So I mean, you take it while you got the chance.
I mean, that 21
It's
draft.
like the Cunningham, Mobley.
Cade Cunningham, Jalen Green, Evan Mobley, Scotty Barnes, Jalen Suggs. I mean, so if you would have picked it, so the guy that picked at 40 was Jared Butler from Baylor.
He's solid. He was on my AAU team actually.
Okay,
Yeah.
Joe Wieskamp was 41, Isaiah Livers 42. So a couple decent players
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I think I would have been a little bit higher. in the
Herb
next
Jones was
draft.
35 in that draft.
Yeah.
So
Crazy. He is.
he
Crazy
has
good. Crazy.
carved out a pretty good career there
Yeah.
with New Orleans.
Oh, for sure.
I want to ask back to growing up. I was thinking about this again on my drive, just questions I want to ask you. Coming up under your father's success, did you ever feel pressure? How did he mentor, coach you? What was that relationship like? Just was there pressure or whatnot?
None at all. But I mean, if you meet my father, he's like one of the most chill. Like I've never heard my dad yell or raise his voice a day in my life. So I mean, he just always supported me. Like obviously, constructive criticism here and there. Like he'd give me lectures, like driving me to school the day after a game or something like that. But he never pressured me to go to Mississippi State. He never pressured me to try to beat his record or anything. I think he just always told me like he's proud of what I'm doing and stuff like that. I think he saw what I could develop to be before I did, because I just thought I was terrible. Like once I got to, I'd say maybe 10th grade-ish, that's when I realized, okay, I'm pretty decent. But he always made me play with older guys like in elementary school, middle school. So I'm like, my goodness, like these guys are beating me up. But he was, I mean, well, he is. I'm not gonna say was. He's still the same. he's oh my gosh, he's amazing. He just coached me throughout my whole life. So it's been great.
Did your mom play basketball too?
In middle school, she did.
Okay,
yeah.
I was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
I feel like she would have been a really good basketball player too.
Yeah, she said she was. So
Okay.
I mean, I'll take her word on it. I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I just had another question about the G League. So I was doing a deep dive in your G League stats, which
We go.
It's a pain to find G League stats.
Here
But
we go.
I think, Dammy, my only question was, in 2022, you played 10 games for San Antonio, 5 for the Oklahoma City Blue, evidently is what they're called, then the Stockton Kings. So you played for 3 G League teams in 1 year?
So that's when I was still with Sacramento. So I was with Sacramento, and they would send us down to play some games in the G just to get some reps. And then around the trade deadline, they waived me. So then I went to OKC, and I was probably there maybe 2 weeks. And then the Spurs put me on a two-way and then put me in the G.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait, so any encounters with Popovich?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How is he?
He's intense. I like it. Yeah, like halftime one game.
Where do you rate Coach Pop on the Luther Riley scale of intensity?
I don't know. Luther might have him beat.
For those who don't know,
yeah.
Luther Riley was Rob's head coach at Columbus for a time when they won the first state championship,
the
I
first
think.
one.
So
Yeah.
there's some intensity with both those guys, but I want to.
Oh, yeah.
Where does he rate on that?
I think Luther is above him.
Okay.
Luther was a great coach, though.
Yeah.
He was a great coach. He had everybody well prepared for games and stuff like that. But his intensity was on another level. Like, no filter at all.
He would randomly call me at just like on a Tuesday, like 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Hey, I got this little information for you. Like he was like just all these random calls. Like,
Yeah.
Coach, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
I always liked him. He was great. So.
Yeah, he's a
But
fun
do
guy.
you have a Coach Pop story or like something that you remember?
Not really. I mean, it's just only thing I can remember is like halftime, how he would just tear into us. Yeah, like basically just yeah, I'm not gonna repeat what he was saying.
No,
but
you don't need to.
Yeah, it was pretty intense. But it was good criticism, obviously, and we got it fixed. So
Quinndary told me a story about when he was he played and came off the court. Because he was with the Spurs for a little
Right.
while.
Yeah.
And he had done something stupid in that batch of minutes, whatever you want to call it. And they just sat down in the huddle. Oh, sorry. And he said, Pop looked at him and said, "I can't believe I have a guy from Mississippi on my team." And then went back to working. Went back to like writing up what he was doing.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right.
Yeah, coming from a guy from Indiana.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Okay, interesting.
I guess he figured the mistake he made was just magnified by the fact that he came
From Mississippi.
That's really funny. How challenging is it playing overseas? That's it's. I know you obviously you want to be in the NBA, but how mentally, physically, emotionally you want to be around your family, you want to be around your friends. How challenging is that playing in France, bouncing around over there?
I say it's more mental than anything. I will say when I was in France, it was really taxing on my body, just because of the coach we had. We were running I remember the first day I got there, he got the whole team out. We went to a soccer field, and we had to run 32 lengths of the soccer field, and it was a certain time. I want to say it was 17, 18 seconds we had to do it, 32 of them, and then after that we went to the gym, and we were just doing that every day for almost a week, 2 weeks. Oh my God. Fresh off the plane, and we're running a whole soccer field. I'm this is insane. But after that, it was pretty good. For the most part, it's just mental because I'm a big family guy, so I like to be around my family. I like to see my family, and that was pretty tough for me. But after a while, I got kind of used to it.
Do you have your own family?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Yeah,
I'm just got married.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
You did get married. Okay.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I just
Must
got
have not got
married.
my invite yet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Rob and I are meeting for the first time. Really the last 30 minutes. So obviously flattered to be here, but just didn't know because I know I've heard Kyle talk about just having his wife and the kid situation and all that stuff. How much different it is when you're overseas and just trying to.
Yeah, it makes. It would be a lot easier, but we have two huge dogs that are on the no-fly
What kind?
list. I have a Rottweiler and a Connie Corso.
Names?
Titan and Lennox.
Okay.
It was actually Titan's birthday yesterday. He turned 5. So.
Happy birthday, Titan.
Happy birthday, Titan. There we go.
Happy birthday, Bubba. Yeah. So that's the hiccup with the overseas thing because also she's in school, so she's still doing school, and obviously we don't like to be away from our dogs that much. I'm cool with making the sacrifice. Obviously it hurts, but I'll make the sacrifice for him and then, come back in the summer, see him. And she flies out and stuff like that, so it works out.
Did you notice that the language barrier made it a bigger challenge than playing in France?
In France, for sure.
Okay.
Because, it's I won't speak for all the French
Because
people.
you had Americans on your team, though, didn't you?
Yeah, we had about 4 Americans on the team in France, I believe. Yeah, I think it was 4. Yeah, 4 of us. But for the most part, most of the team spoke English, even if it was broken English. But going to restaurants and stuff, that was terrible because everybody else in France doesn't really speak English. So
interesting.
It was tough there. But when I got to Greece, everybody spoke English.
Yeah.
So
what was your, what was that welcome to the overseas moment was when you arrived in France? It was, oh crap, I'm playing basketball overseas professionally.
The training camp when we were on the soccer field.
Okay, so the soccer field again, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was so intense for those 2 weeks because we'd go to the soccer field, run like crazy, and then go straight to the gym after that, do a workout, and then come back 4 hours later and have a full practice. So the whole team was just, I don't know how much we can take. We're just in the locker room dead and just couldn't handle it. So
did you play in front of large crowds then in France? What is does France obviously I know their basketball's starting to get really good, obviously with Victor Wembanyama, Bilal Coulibaly, guys like that, but do they get into pro basketball?
Oh yeah, we had a pretty good home base. Every game we played at home was pretty much sold out.
Okay.
And obviously we played some EuroLeague teams as well. But for the most part,
too, yeah.
They represented France. They come out and watch.
Do you choose? So, would you prefer to play in Greece over France then?
Yeah, I think I would prefer Greece unless it's Monaco or something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, Greece was better weather, and then everybody speaks English, so it's not that language barrier.
Did there economy crash though in Greece?
I think that was years ago, wasn't it?
Did it?
It was before COVID, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, because
it was on the up, I guess.
Because I think they used to have their own money.
Yes.
Or something different currency, and then they had to switch to the euro.
Yeah, they switched to the euro. Yeah.
Learned something new today. Yeah. Thank you, Robert.
Yeah, no problem.
That's what he's here to do.
I learned that from my wife.
He's here to he's here to teach. EuroLeague is like must be just chaos, just from the fans to like the kind of players that are in it. It feels. I know the NBA is obviously the top tier that everyone wants to get to, but it seems like EuroLeague is just nasty.
I mean, it's pretty. I mean, I didn't realize how intense it was because obviously, you know me, I worry about what's at home and what's around me. So once I got overseas, I still didn't understand how big it was until I got to Greece. So France, we played a couple EuroLeague teams, whatever. But when I got to Greece, that's when I was close to Panathinaikos and Olympiakos.
Yeah, those are massive teams there.
We actually played both of those teams, and they take it so serious. Not the team, but the fans.
Yeah.
And it's super, like, it's not like any NBA game.
Are those like the videos where I've seen where there's like fires in the stands?
And like they're all jumping up and down at the same time.
No, it's not fake.
Yeah.
It's not fake. Like, it's to the point where they have to have, like, riot shields at the game.
I have a question for both of you that I wanted to ask. Have either of you had the star shock moment? Like, maybe it's Popovich, that you've met someone and you're like, I cannot believe I'm in the presence of this individual.
Good question.
You want to go first or you want me to go?
I'll go.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't say it's more so like star shock from like a specific person, but my I guess kind of my coaching journey. I spent a year on staff at Mississippi State, and then spent a year in Los Angeles doing some like individual training, and then I got a job with the Houston Rockets directly out of that.
Big Rockets fan right here.
Okay,
there you
so
go.
I was there for the 20-62 Rockets.
Yep, not a good year.
But
thank you, James Harden.
but my shock was walking into it may not have been my first day there, but the first coaches meeting, team meeting, and I was sitting down, and I'm low man on the totem pole at that point, but sitting in the coaches meeting, and I'm looking around, and like all the assistants, the head coach, all the guys are like, I'm kind of in the back of my head like, I don't know if I belong here, Jeff Hornacek was on staff, a bunch of guys that were like, really like tenured NBA coaches, and that was kind of like, I guess not from one specific person, but just like, all right, I'm really here, I guess, if that makes sense.
I think for me, I did the summer league with the Pacers. I think it was last summer. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And we practiced for a couple days, and then we would come into another practice, and we're warming up. We get in a little bit into practice. I keep looking over to like the sideline. I'm like, man, he looks familiar. I'm like, that can't be him. It's Larry Bird. So I'm like, I'm like, it was just because it was so unexpected, and like I've never seen him in person.
Yeah.
So I'm like, he's just in here just hanging out. And I'm like, oh, Larry Bird. So that was probably the closest I've been.
I am sorry to turn this to me. I can't remember if I've told this story on the podcast or not.
Here we go.
So I've met Larry Bird one time. I was interviewing with Frank Vogel when he was coaching for the Pacers to be in their film room, essentially. And someone on the staff was giving me a tour around Gamebridge. I can't remember what it was called at the time. And we walked into the players' locker room, and there's a man named Larry Bird sitting there watching SportsCenter, and he's butt-ass naked.
Oh, my goodness.
And he just has a small hand. That's not fair. He had a hand towel. I'll say big hand towel. And it was just covering his member.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to say, and I just said, hello, Mr. Bird. and he just goes, what's up, kid? And that was it.
How old were you?
Did college. I mean, this is when I was playing at Ball State.
My God.
Yeah.
You should have asked for the towel.
Oh, my goodness.
Ask for the towel.
Can I smell that? Can I smell success?
You've never told me that. I never knew that.
Well, then,
That's incredible.
these are the podcasts. Then.
Yeah, there's
so
a
I've been on one
podcast.
time
Come on the
as well.
pod, Larry.
It just pops up.
And just the confidence of the "What's up, kid?"
Yeah.
And I'm like 22.
That's amazing. All right. Before we wrap this thing up, I need some Ben Howland stories.
Let's do it.
I need your craziest, wildest, or weirdest, or silliest Ben Howland stories. So for those who don't know, Ben Howland was the head coach of Mississippi State during Rob and Mitch's time. As someone who interacted with him fairly frequently, the best way I can describe him is odd. I think that's probably the best way to say it. I think he's genuinely a decent person, obviously completely different in practice, but with the media, he was pretty good, but just different. So Give me something that I can leave with that's going to make me smile thinking about Ben Howland.
I got to think a little bit.
Look at Mitch. He has a story.
I was going to say, Mitch has got a couple. Well, you were going through. I can see it run through your mind like, can I say that one? Can I do that
Mitch,
one?
we can cut
actually
things if we
mention that
need,
one?
but let it out.
This is my funniest story, and I don't know if it's really gonna hit as well if you don't know the guy. But we had a guy on our team named Keyshawn Fizel.
Oh boy!
And we were in practice one day, and practice had stopped for like Coach Howland to like kind of I guess change something or correct something, and Keyshawn kind of like walked off the like edge of the court, like trying to mind his business, like kind of walking like just not like very inconspicuously. And I guess Coach Howland was ready to get practice back going, and he says, "Keyshawn, what are you doing?" And Keyshawn very quietly was like, "I had to fart." Like as quiet as he could. And Coach Howland says, "What?" Keyshawn goes, it just completely enunciated, "I said I had to fart." And Coach Howland looked at him so confused, and he's like, "Oh, all right, well hurry up."
I'm trying to think of one. I don't know.
Keyshawn was a weird dude.
Hurry up. Hey, actually, side note, Keyshawn is playing in the Butler Regional for the Fort Wayne team.
Oh, okay.
So
Nice.
so we would meet them in the championship or not the championship, but the Tuesday game.
So
Yeah.
before we keep thinking about your story.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
because-
one because
All right.
I don't remember.
As someone who's been around Mississippi State for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
is George Brooks ever going to leave Mississippi State?
If they know what they're doing, they won't let him.
Yeah, I mean, if he does, it'll be sometime soon. I think.
Okay.
I don't know how long he would have on the staff, but I would keep him.
He's been there longer than you've both been alive, I think.
If you can
Yeah.
in college especially, if you can stay somewhere through 4 head coaches, maybe more, but definitely 4, you're doing something really, really, really right.
Well, I know, like, he is one of the. I have nothing bad to say about George Brooks. Like that dude is like he's got that staying power. But I wonder if he'll ever leave Starkville. It just feels like he's always going to be there.
That's like I don't know. He's stamped in Starkville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to say he was probably recruiting me since I was in elementary.
That's what. So
school
did
with
he?
my
Did
dad.
he recruit both of you guys then?
Yeah, he recruited me.
Okay. Who recruited you then?
Mine was kind of more so Begley was at Mississippi State, and obviously
Right.
he played there. And so it was kind of like I had a pretty good freshman year, and like for me, I grew up a Mississippi State fan. I really didn't even I didn't play AAU in high school. Like I grew a ton, honestly, my senior year of high school, freshman year of college. And so for me, I always loved the idea of playing at Mississippi State. Like directly out of high school, I planned to just like go to state and try to walk on. But in like the last few games of the year, I had a bunch of JUCOs kind of try to get me to come play, and so I ended up going to East Mississippi. And so it was more so like he knew all the guys there on staff, like he kind of knew that it was my desire to be at Mississippi State, and I had the grades to leave after 1, and so it was more so of like they had a preferred walk-on spot open for me after that first year. I was like, I'll take 3 years at State, and I would be more than happy about it. So
keep the GPA up.
Yeah.
Says you nerd.
Yeah,
I shot
That's a good point.
yeah.
a little what's the word when you kind of brag on what's it called?
Humble brag.
Shameless
Humble
plug.
brag.
plug. Yeah, humble brag.
here.
Shameless plug. Yeah.
I did shoot 49% from 3 in my freshman year at junior college.
Oh yeah.
So I
was gonna say you were a pretty dang good shooter.
I
when you were
felt good
at
going
Suva.
into it, yeah.
49% is sick.
But okay,
Do you guys know Jarvis Finardo?
Yeah,
I don't know him, but
I
I,
don't know
I,
him, but I
grew
grew
up.
I was going to ask if you've met him or anything.
I think I might have met him.
Because you're talking about growing up as a Mississippi State fan. So
Yeah.
that's,
I love D. Boss back in the day.
Oh, yes.
I,
that's a
I
great
worked with
one.
him. I trained him a little bit
Really?
last summer, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah, he's a lifetime hooper.
he's one of the one of the most underrated players in Mississippi State history.
I agree.
He was a
like
pest.
That, like, he was
Absolutely.
freaking
He was great.
awesome. He was
I mean,
so
with all the respect in the world. I
He
mean,
was great.
Okay.
Was D-Boss there with, I think, Fred? Was
Fred
he-
Thomas?
Yeah, was he with Fred or was that before, way before?
I think he was.
I think he came before that. Yeah,
Okay,
Fred
yeah.
was after that. Yeah, because that was Renardo Sidney was on that team with him.
Is there a Raven Johnson? Maybe.
Raven Johnson was there for a
Rayburn,
time.
Rayburn.
Rayburn Johnson,
Thank
that's right.
Shane Power.
Shane Power
The
came
white guy?
way before
Remember
that.
his white-
Yeah, I remember Shane Power.
And then who's the guy with the huge fro?
Anderson Varejao.
No, it'll come to me later on.
You just dropped Shane Power. That's such a great.
That's Shane Power's a great name
love
drop.
Shane
Yeah,
Power.
I was gonna say I need to. I'll go back to those D-Boss teams.
And he's still a huge Mississippi State fan. I follow him on Twitter. He
he follows me on Twitter,
Yeah,
so we still
yeah.
still connect through that. Yeah.
I'm still trying to think of a story.
You got to give me a Ben
Yeah,
Howland story. Come on now.
I mean, the best story I could probably think of, I think it was during a game, and I can't remember what happened, but mid-game, and this actually has Mitch in it.
Oh, here we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mitch had a
So
fart.
mid-game, the game was pretty intense, and I think
We blocked a shot. Q blocked a shot.
Yeah, Q blocked the shot. Game was lit, jumping, whatever. And he jumps up, has a towel in his hand, and like tries to cheer, throws the towel at Ben, hits him.
It wrapped around his face. Like, it was like cinematic. Like, and truthfully, I did kind of like this, and I actually ripped the towel out of my teammate's hand when I swung like this, and it just wrapped around.
Yeah.
He pulled it off his face, was looking around, trying to figure out where this came from. And I'm trying to make him think
Yeah.
that it didn't come from me. I'm shrinking.
You're grabbing another towel so he knows that it's not you're not without a towel.
Like
I
pointing at
remember-
someone.
I remember being on the bench, and I'm like, oh, we are about to get it.
And it was a big game, and it was Florida, and we beat Florida, so I
Yeah.
felt a little bit better afterwards. But
Yeah.
I was scared for my life and my spot on the team at that point.
I don't think I have too many funny stories.
That's a pretty good one
of
right
Ben,
there, though.
no. Yeah, that was
Think
I like all the towel stories they have between Larry Bird and now Ben
Yeah.
Howland.
Yeah.
These
We
towels.
could-
Large hand towel. Remember that.
So that team that D-Boss was on that last team. So Renardo Sidney, Jalen Steele, really good shooter. Rodney Hood was on that team. That was
Oh,
his first
yeah.
year there.
so that was like what, 2012?
That was 12. Yeah.
Okay.
Arnett Mulcher was on that team.
Oh yeah.
Very underrated.
Wendell Lewis, very Brian Bryant, really good guard.
They were stacked. Was that with Stansberry or
That was
Rick-
Stansberry's
yeah.
last year.
Winsome Frazier is who I was thinking of. Winsome Frazier.
Winsome Freight. Oh, you're going way back.
I guess that would
That's
probably been the
before
same
that.
team as Shane Power, right?
So that was
Go to the
99.
real quick.
No.
Go to that
No,
20.
not that long.
Robbie, go to that
Whoa.
2010 team. That's the team that
The
lost to
2010
Kentucky.
On the
team?
tip-in.
Yeah, on the
Well, I guess
DeMarcus
that's-
Cousins.
Oh, the DeMarcus Cousins
Oh, okay.
tip-in
Back.
team. Who was
Oh,
on
my
that team?
goodness. I remember being devastated watching
Me
that
and
game.
Dusty were
Yeah.
second row for that.
We had a
Where
Perry
was it?
Really?
That was
Stevenson's,
that was
player
08,
tickets
wasn't
that
it?
game.
Was that 09 or 08?
What, the tip-in?
Yeah, the tip.
It would have been the
2010.
John Walsh 09.
2009?
team.
Yeah, 2010
2010
in Nashville.
in
When they
Nashville,
celebrate like
when
they
lost
won
to
the Natty, it would
Kentucky.
just go
Okay,
to
who's on?
overtime.
So
That's when I was playing.
Oh,
Robbie-
Romero Osby was on that team at
Robbie,
the
I was
time.
going to tell you that's
2005, Winsome Frazier.
05? Okay, why did I think it was longer than that? Sean Smith was his freshman year coming out of Noxubee. Cody Augustus, forgot about him on that team. Who else? Yeah, obviously Jarvis Renato was on the team. That was Wendell Lewis's freshman year. Rayburn Johnson, you mentioned him. That was, and Renardo Sidney was ineligible at the time, obviously.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Do they do like alumni stuff with Mississippi State basketball? Do you ever come back or get invited for things?
I know my dad does.
Okay.
I think I'm not sure if it's just his team or whatever it is, but I remember when I was younger, they used to have like some alumni thing where they just go to Buffalo Wild Wings and all the players are there. But I can't remember the last time he went. It wasn't too long ago, but
Okay.
yeah, he keeps up with his teammates quite a bit.
Okay.
But yeah.
We just go back for baseball games nowadays.
Well, that's probably better anyway because you get fed better there.
Oh,
than baseball games.
The baseball games
Yeah,
are
in the left field lounge,
amazing.
yeah.
At Duty Noble.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I still haven't taken you guys to a game at Duty Noble, have I?
Y'all gotta
I
go.
was there for 9 years. And I
Is
didn't
that
take
the
you guys to
left
one game.
field
Left
lounge?
field lounge, yeah.
Oh, it's
We need to go
can't
down
explain
at some point.
The
Yeah.
atmosphere is crazy, and people just feed you. Just the people that have like their own little sections and grilling out. You just walk by. Oh, you're hungry? Are you hungry? Would you like anything to eat, drink? I'm like,
I used to
Say less.
I used to make an excuse to be like, I got to go do a live shot out in the left field lounge, and I would
Oh,
just
yeah.
get free food. Like it was
Yeah,
the easiest
it's
way
like
to get fed.
Golden Corral at a baseball game or something.
Next time we interview you, should be at the left field lounge.
I think that'd be
That's
great.
a great idea.
I think yeah.
There'd be a lot of people that'd be in on that.
Oh yeah, it'll be amazing.
All right.
We'll get our one sponsor to get on the trip.
We're not a big pod. We're trying. Yeah, by the way, you guys are our first real guests of the pod.
Oh really?
You are our first.
You always
one.
remember your
yeah.
first time.
You all. He
No
always he
doubt
does
about
this
that.
all the time.
March freshman year.
I'm glad we got that in.
I didn't even mention the hump yet, so you're welcome, Robbie.
We didn't talk about Humphrey Coliseum at all. You're right.
Yeah. Do you like playing there?
Oh yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm.
I think are they done with the renovations now?
I think they're either finishing. They're getting closer. I think it's next year that they're going to finish up completely. But it's completely different from when
It's
you were
incredible.
there.
I went
Yeah,
to
I
a game this past season.
Really, I haven't seen it since they started. Well, I was working out at Mississippi State when they were tearing things down and getting the process started, but I haven't been in it to actually see what they've done.
It's got that crazy concourse as you walk in now,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, I'm excited to see it because I saw the actual design and what it's supposed to look like, and it
So
looks like it's going to be pretty legit.
if Robert Woodard comes back for a game,
Mm-hmm.
are they going to feature you on the jumbotron? You're going to be sitting front row, and you're going to stand up, waving hand like, "Hey."
Yeah.
Are they going to do that? For you?
Yeah, they did that when we came back. Was it Super Bulldog weekend?
Oh, they
Yeah.
did. They featured you guys on the jumbotron. Up
Yeah,
there?
we were sidelined.
Nice.
Yeah, I had my wife. Mitch was with me.
Quinndary and
Quinndary
Nick.
was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was
So they did it for Quinndary.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah,
I was just so happened I was on the team at the same time. And
kind of lean in, get just a little hat.
yeah. And then they started to pan over and me and on Quinndary. But yeah.
Give me a Q story to wrap it up.
I have one more question.
Q, when I first got to Mississippi State, so everybody knows, well, I guess it has nothing to do with the story, but when I first met Q, I was like, I played against him when I was in high school because he came to Columbus just to play like pickup.
Right.
I was like, oh, he's pretty good. And then I get to Mississippi State, I'm like, I don't know, he's that good just from talking to him because he talks so slow and stuff like that. So I'm like, he's so relaxed, like I know, like I can compete with him. So we get to practice one day. This is during the summer. And I kid you not. Q has the ball at like half court, and I'm picking him up. And he's like full head of steam, and he gets to like the 3-point line, and that's where I'm trying to stop him. And he bumps me. And I kid you not, I went from the 3-point line all the way to like the backboard, like out of bounds, and he's laying the ball up. And I'm like, my goodness, he is amazing.
So strong.
And strong. Like, I don't think people
Is he
realize
that country strong? Because I know Velma
Oh,
Jackson's
my
like,
goodness.
yeah, he's got a little bit of
He's
that
so
in him.
strong.
Oh, my goodness. Strong and, like, fast.
Yeah.
Like he just plays so low. That
But he
there's
was
nothing
always
you
so
can do.
controlled. Like, he never
Oh, yeah.
looked like he was fast, but it just,
Oh,
like,
no.
he played at a different speed.
Doesn't look like
compared
he
to everyone
tries,
else.
truthfully.
Yeah, it was always so
It's
effortless
impressive.
for him.
It's
Yeah. That's why I was, like, it's hard, like, seeing him on TV is totally different from
Right.
actually seeing him in person and playing against him because it's like, there's almost nothing you can do. Like, if he wants to get to the cup, he's going to do that. If he wants to shoot, he's going to do that. So it's like, which one do you want to give him this time?
Well, see, that was supposed to be Nick and then Brandon, too. Like, they were supposed
Yeah.
to be, like, kind of building on what he did. I don't know if they ever really
Yeah, how about Brandon making that crazy run
Oh,
in
my
the
gosh.
tournament?
Yeah,
He's huge
Florida
for them.
Atlantic, my
Yeah,
gosh.
do it.
Very
Like,
huge.
Go ahead and win
He's
it.
He's an FAU fan, by the way,
really?
so
Yeah.
he knew a
Ironically,
little about Brandon Weatherspoon.
I had like an FAU flag hanging up in my room since I was
wow.
in 6th grade.
Yeah.
Very random story, not worth telling, but hoot hoot.
I mean, if you like him, you like him. Yeah, I mean, I was happy for him.
Yep.
So I have one last question, Rob, is to you. So I did some research on your NBA career.
Hold on, you did research?
I know,
This is
I-
the third time you've mentioned that.
I, no,
of research.
We talk about humble brag, no big deal. So all of you mentioned you appeared in 25 NBA games, which shout out, reaching your dream. But I have to ask, do you know your team's records in your 25 games that you
Oh,
appeared?
my gosh. So 25 games, what's your record?
And by the way, I went through the what's called reference, NBA reference. I
Basketball
think
reference,
these-
yeah.
This is verified.
No, I don't. It just got to a point.
I'm going to guess like 10 and 15.
Yeah,
No, we won more than 10 games.
You sure?
Wait.
Oh.
Wait. You talking about NBA or college?
NBA.
Yeah, we had to win more than 10 games. We played 82. Had to
But
be more
of the
than 10.
20,
The 25 you played.
Oh, the 25
Just
I
the
played.
25 you
Yeah.
played, yeah.
Oh, all those had to be L's.
Oh, no.
Take a guess. Take a guess, just for
So
fun.
out of the 25, I would say maybe 4.
you went 3 and 22, and on top of it, you lost your last 16, including your
Yeah.
21-22. You went 0 and 12.
Oh my goodness.
So
yeah,
it was my journalistic duty to bring it up. So I apologize.
What was his plus?
No,
What was
it's
his
fine.
plus minus in those games?
minus 1,000. probably.
I knew that much research, but
Yeah,
3 and 22.
I was gonna
wow.
say it got to the point in Sacramento we were losing so many games in a row. We
Fair.
didn't care about the record. It was just like, let's break this losing streak.
You got in at Sacramento at the wrong time too, because
The-
now
probably
they're
the
like with
worst time.
De'Aaron Fox.
Exactly. As soon
all
as I
those
leave,
guys.
it's like, oh, okay, we want to compete for a championship.
But Rob, that's the cool part though, is you reached a pinnacle that none of us can ever even imagine, and to be able to laugh at
Speak
something
for
like
yourself.
that.
I can.
Yeah, the 8th grade.
Robbie Kraft.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's a big
Robbie
deal.
Kraft,
That's a
our
big
junior in
deal.
high school.
It's not my
It's
fault.
just so cool to meet someone like you who's so humble and has been to seriously I remember my dad made me put a list of 10 things I want to accomplish in life because I quit baseball in 6th grade, and he was like, "You're not going to be tall. Like basketball's not going to work out." So he made me put a list of goals, and one of them, the final one I've told you guys, was to make the U.S. Olympic team.
Oh yeah.
Kawhi just left, and they want to add me
There's
instead.
a spot.
Yeah,
Even though it got added by Derek White.
But
one of
one of
phone
them
calls.
was to just wear an NBA uniform. So
Oh, yeah.
the fact that you were able to do that is
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was something I never expected to do. Like, I knew I enjoyed basketball. When I went to Mississippi State, I was thinking, like, I'm just going to be here for 4 years, maybe 5, and leave and just go get a regular job or something. And then my sophomore year, things just started to kind of take off. And I was like, man, wow, where did this come from? So it's like, obviously I want to be in the NBA, but I'm like, I had the wonderful opportunity to be around those guys, learn from those guys, and just have that chance to watch them in person. I'm like, if that's where my NBA career ends, then that's just what it is, because that's not in my path, not, God's plan for me. So I'm cool with wherever things go from here, honestly.
Do you have your Sacramento Kings jersey?
Oh, yeah, I have all my jerseys.
There we
Yeah.
go. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
I have all the
yeah.
jerseys. But I'll say this, and then we can wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah.
But I will say, I never expected to play basketball this long. So growing up, I was always a baseball guy, and I will say I was pretty good at
I
baseball.
remember you playing baseball. Did you play a high school game? Did you play your freshman year?
Yeah, I played my 9th grade year, and then
I
after that,
randomly
gave it up.
remember you playing when Cook was the coach there at the time. I feel like you were.
He left when I was in middle school. So
Okay,
I remember
so
they made that crazy run with what was Tracy?
research.
What was
Trace Lee? Yeah,
Yeah, Tracy Lee and a few other guys, and
Mullis
that
kid, I think, was one of
that
their
team
pitcher.
was
Yeah,
absolutely loaded.
I remember
They had
that
a great
team.
group of guys.
Yeah.
And I came in the year after, and then the program was just terrible, and I was like, I don't see it going anywhere if I just keep playing baseball here. But yeah, I always thought I was going to be a professional baseball player, and then that never happened.
you could still go back and do it. You could still.
I
make it
always
happen.
consider. I
Well,
actually
Tim
hit
Tebow
some-
did it.
Yeah. Didn't he hit like a homer or something? Yeah,
He
something
played
crazy.
the minors. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
I actually took I guess bullpen from his brother who plays in the minors right now about 2 years ago just to see where I was, and he swears I struck out 1,000,000 times, but in the real world I was fouling the ball off 1,000 times.
See,
which is a
2-strike
great
approach.
at
That's
bat.
what you need to be out
Which
there
is a
for.
great
Come on
at
now.
bat.
He did better than I don't even dare step in there. But he was asking for the whole week leading up. I couldn't get it lined up. But yeah, he was fouling he was making contact.
Which teams love. As long
That's
as you can
right.
get on base
Get
and
on
make
base.
contact, let's do it.
Come on now.
Just foul it off.
Got to lean into one.
Yeah,
Want some-
exactly.
All right, finish it with this. Basketball doesn't work out. It's done. It's over. Where do you feel like is what's next for both of you then? I know Mitch, you're moving with him with the Pacers here soon. Which, by the way, congratulations. That's freaking awesome. But
Congratulations, yeah.
what's like if basketball doesn't work out? If it what's the backup plan? What do you feel like is moving on next then?
Yeah, I actually have some things going in real estate, just like some investing here and there. So I'll probably keep that going. I got a pretty good partner that I work with. And honestly, I'll tell you, but I tell Mitch all the time, like, once I get done paying off my house, like, I might just.
What do you got to do? Like, is there anything else? Like, is there anything else you want to accomplish in your life then at that point? I mean, you played in the NBA.
Yeah, I mean, not really. At this point, I'm just about starting my family and just living a simple life after basketball, because I tell my wife all the time when our kids get ready to get close to, like, grade school and stuff like that, like, I say kindergarten maybe, but first grade for sure, I want to be at home. So by the time I'm, approaching 30, I might be done with it. But after that, man, I mean, I pay the house off. I might just go work at Tractor Supply or something.
I know we have to wrap up, or we're short on time. How'd you meet your wife?
Crazy story. I'm glad you asked that. So it was during COVID. She said she saw me in what's the food court? The Union. So she saw me one time her freshman year at the food court getting Panda Express. She was right beside me apparently because it was me and Tolu Smith, and she just swears up and down that we just laughed at her the whole time. But I'm like, that's just how me and Tolu are. We just laugh all the time. So fast forward to COVID. It was around the time when they did like the march at Mississippi State when all that stuff was going on. They did like a big march or whatever. I posted a picture from that, and I had Titan, my Rottweiler, and he had on little dog shoes because it was super hot out there. I didn't want him walking on the concrete. She messaged me on Instagram. She was like, "Hey, I love Rottweilers. Where'd you get his shoes from?" And I was like, PetSmart, wherever I got them from. And she was like, "Hey," I was like, "You can meet him if you want to. Just being nice. She seemed cool, whatever." Met her, was crushing on her like that same day. And then after that, it just like she left for like a week. Like the next couple of days, she left for like a week, and I felt myself being like, dang, like, do I miss her? And then after that, it just kind of took off. So I met her basically through Titan. Or else I would.
Oh yeah, Titan! Happy belated.
Yeah.
Dog.
Yeah, now Titan loves her more than he loves me. So that's how it goes.
Funny how that works. Guys, it has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for coming on the pod.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We wish you guys all the best coming up again tonight. Fail Harder taking on All Good Dogs, Butler alums, 6 p.m. Eastern tip-off time. You can watch the game on FS2. Best of luck. We'll be cheering for you all again. Thanks again for being on the pod.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.